Hello, I'm Dan Marr from Hamlin and Kerrigan, and I'm going to be talking today about prosecuting or pursuing claims of gift manipulation. So would be in both New Hampshire and Massachusetts. So this would be a situation upon which you think that somebody got taken advantage of, and maybe from their wills or trusts after they die, you're getting less than what you think you should be getting because of that gift manipulation by somebody else, your sibling or a caregiver or something like that, or somebody like that, or you during the lifetime of this person that you care about, you're concerned about there being gift manipulation and perhaps the person not having enough assets because somebody else is taking them from them. So we'll talk about both of those issues. I've done another vlog before that was recently uploaded onto YouTube that's dealing with defending these cases. I've been doing this stuff for 35 years. I've been doing a whole bunch of trust and estates litigation, both in New Hampshire and Massachusetts. I deal with breach of fiduciary duties, these gift manipulation cases, and a variety of other things, will and trust interpretations and litigation. So I've been doing that for quite some time. I'm happy to help. I'm here at Hampshire and Kerrigan in Nashua, New Hampshire. And again, I'm licensed in both and practice in both New Hampshire and Massachusetts. So let's get into this. First, I would suggest that if you do have a situation where you're considering a pursuing a gift manipulation case, you also, in addition to this vlog, check out my one of defending, because you want to know what somebody does when they're defending one of these cases. And I've set forth the gift manipulation standards somewhat in there too. So in this situation, if somebody is claiming you're claiming gift manipulation, one of the things that you often will say will be one of two things: either the person wasn't competent to make the decisions, or they are subject to undue influence. Somebody could have diminished capacity and be more likely to have undue influence, even though they are competent to sign something. Maybe they can still sign a lease or a mortgage or the like, but because of their diminished capacity, they are subject to somebody taking over their will or supplanting their free will, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But mental competency issue, incapacity for mental competency means you don't know what you're signing. You don't understand it. You don't understand perhaps who your children are. You don't understand what your assets are. Maybe you don't. Sometimes questions that people will ask, well, who's the president of the United States? But you want to be careful with that, because in this political climate, somebody may say something in jest, meaning that they don't like the current president, and they like the former president or the like. So you want to make sure that they're not being sarcastic, maybe some dry humor there. But getting into more details of them, if they're confused, we've seen this situation where they think that their spouse is their daughter, or son comes in and they think it's their spouse. That would be a situation. If they're hallucinating, that would be certainly a situation. I do caution you, though, if you're looking at medical records and you're seeing that on the day that they signed something, they were claimed to be mentally incompetent, you want to make sure that you want to get down to that period of time during that day, because we have plenty of situations where somebody can be sundowning later on in the day and really not with it, or not able to sign documents. And I'm not being sarcastic about that, but during maybe at 10 o'clock in the morning after they've gotten up and they've had their breakfast, they are competent. So you want to be careful about that issue. Undue influence. And I've dealt with those cases. I've had to delve into the medical records, deal with experts in regards to that in examination and cross-examination. So I've litigated those cases and also settled those cases with litigation starting and then settling the cases. But what you really want to do is you want to delve into that and find out really what's going on in the mind of this person. I like dealing also very clearly with who the people are around this person's life, the donor's life. You got to get into their neighbors. You got to get into if they have social clubs that they're in, the visiting VNA. If there is a nurse home, the caregiver's there too. But all of that, you have to get real detail into that, because facts matter in all these cases. And when I'm dealing with this undue influence where the person is supplanting the free will, if I'm prosecuting one of those ones, I want to be able to show that in fact the person that I'm claiming unduly influenced really took over this person's life. They either threatened them, maybe you're going to go into a nursing home if it's not for me, that type of situation. You're regularly going and misleading the donor, saying that the other people don't want to see you, even though they're trying to see you, and you're blocking them. You want to have that type of evidence out there. And if you are one of the people who are interested in seeing your uncle or your mother or friend or whatever else, and that person's blocking, don't allow that to happen. You can talk to me and we can talk about how those situations can happen, but you don't just throw up your hands and say, what am I going to do about it? Because that's going to hurt you later on, not only for your gift manipulation case, but also you care about this person and you want to make sure that they're not being money taken away from them while they're still living. So there's an issue of course, when they die, there being less of a inheritance out for you or anybody else if they're spending it, but also they may go on to Medicaid, or they might be disqualified for Medicaid because this person took gifts that they weren't entitled to take. So you want to deal with those issues too, and there's sometimes, unfortunately, some discussions of whether or not there should be a guardian appointed, but those are very difficult discussions that I can talk to you about that. But you can give me a call at 603-883-5501. That's 603-883-5501, or you can check out our website at nashua.law.com, or also hamker.com. Both of them work for our website. And please feel free to give me a call if I can be help. Again, Dan Marr at 603-883-5501. Thank you. Bye-bye.